Eddy Live, and today I have
Peggy Lee from Peggy Teaches Chinese.
Peggy Lee from Peggy Teaches Chinese. So Peggy Lee has been teaching Chinese on her YouTube channel for over 10 years now.
Yeah, 2009 till now.
So that's quite a feat, because actually for myself, probably 10 years ago, I don't even think I used YouTube. So you're one of the pioneers, right?
Yeah, I was 19.
In
college as a student of English.
That's really cool. So I'm curious, 19. Okay, so why would a 19, let's take 10 years back, why would a 19-year-old start a YouTube channel about teaching Chinese to foreigner, or to anyone, really? Mm-hmm. It's in English, right? So
yeah, I was learning English in a university called Mingchuan, and we have a lot of international students.
Okay.
So in order to practice my English, I had a lot of international friends. I hang out with a lot of international students. Mm-hmm. Then I started to, we exchange a lot of cultural ideas. They are learning Mandarin. They would ask me some questions. Then I started to talk to them. I'm thinking about maybe I should start to teach Chinese, like online, because I was on the side also tutoring some foreigners one-on-one in person in Taiwan. Then I realized I should start, put this online, and then start my own YouTube channel. So that's when I started.
So at that time, 10 years ago, were there a lot of YouTube channels? Like, I mean, I said, really. I have no idea, right? Okay.
No, back then was just me and a guy earlier than me, Ask Benny. He was also making like videos teaching Chinese. Okay. And I think one other channel, and that there are just like 3-4 of us, very few.
Okay.
And so it was very new, and at the time nobody really knew what YouTube was. I think YouTube just was available online for like 4 years, since 2005. Okay. YouTube was launched. So it was a very new thing, and if you look at the videos back earlier, it was very different.
So are they still on there, the videos?
Yeah, I didn't delete any of them.
Oh,
so
I gotta go back.
See how
I'm gonna go back. Okay.
From 19 until now.
19. Wow. Okay. That's cool though, because so you'll have like almost like a documentary of your life, 10 years.
Of my life, my professional life, and
I've actually seen some clips.
Yeah.
When you used to do like role-playing things on there, right? Those were so fun. I love those. Yeah.
And we were using green screen too, but the technique was not very advanced, and cause nobody knew how to make videos. We just did it by ourselves and then figure it out, and so it was very different. But now this is on another level.
Well, I think with any kind of business, nobody knows what they're doing at the beginning.
That's true.
And I mean, and the people that do know, nobody knows as much as you think they know. So trust me, I've met some really professional business guys where I'm just like, oh my gosh, this guy's like my hero, And when I actually talk to them, it's. I don't want to be rude, but it's just nobody knows it. Like, I've been doing my business for 11 years, and sometimes people ask me stuff, and I definitely know a lot, but there's stuff that I
learn from your experience, trial and error.
Sure, yeah.
That's definitely how it is. And over the 10 years, because I was going to school, working at the same time, teaching Chinese abroad. So Peggy Teaches Chinese has been kind of off and on. Mm-hmm. I used to make a lot of videos, and then when I went abroad, I was still making videos, and then came back, went to graduate school to make myself more professional, have the academic training. During those 3 years in graduate school, I didn't really have much time to make videos, and then I went abroad again to teach Chinese. And then
abroad to where?
To the U.S.
Okay,
to the U.S. Last year, and then came back. Then this year really focused on building the platform, and then now cool. Returning to like YouTube, to the internet learning, digitalized learning. I see like the market is very different from 10 years ago.
Sure,
there are just so many competitors. Everybody has a YouTube channel. Everybody is teaching the language, teaching. Not even just teaching, podcasting. There's just so many resources.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's a very different time now.
So I think it's different, but I also think that there's so many people watching now. Like my daughter, if you have like the TV there with like we don't even have cable, but like when we used to have cable, she would just grab the phone or whatever. She would just YouTube. Like she doesn't even know about cable TV or anything like that. It's just YouTube. Even when she was a little baby, like not baby, but like 2 or 3, she would grab the phone or whatever. She would sneak because we're like, okay, don't play with the phone, you know. She would sneak and she would kind of be like, she knows the logo. It's such a simple logo. It's just like, it's a simple logo. And she would just kind of be like, she would just scroll until she found a cartoon and it's just like, bam.
Wow.
And so from then on, like that's what she wants to do. When she grabs like an iPad, she just is like, okay, I'm going to YouTube My Little Pony or whatever it is. It's funny. So my YouTube channel, my subscriptions are like, it's like food, UFC, My Little Pony, She-Ra, Princess of Power. You need to open up her own account. She has
to have her own account.
She actually wants to do like a channel as well.
Really?
So I'm kind of like, should I? I don't know.
Are you gonna interview your own daughter?
Maybe, yeah. She'll be like, whatever, Dad. Yeah. So she actually she wants to have her own channel because there are lots of kids with kids channels that I think they do really well.
Yeah.
There's one channel. There's this couple. Obviously, there's a couple and they have 2 little girls, and basically the couple makes their income by playing with the kids. So they take the kids to they'll rent like a hotel room.
Yeah.
And then they'll set up like an elaborate like game sort of maze thing all over the hotel. And then they have like this bad guy with a mask on and they call him Baldy. And then basically it's like hide and seek, like extreme level. And my daughter watches this, and I watch it with her sometimes.
Like a reality show.
Yeah, it's just like, let's hide from Baldy, and all these it's like a treasure hunt as well. So they have these like sponsors give them toys to like hide, and then they go around. They're like, oh, and they open up these toys, and they're like, oh, this is a really cool toy. And I was like, it's so simple, and it's fun, and it's a cool concept. And if you look at, they have like millions of subscribers, and they monetize it. So the parents are making income by playing with their kids, and I was like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. It's so cool. Yeah,
I think you bring it up about your daughter. Kids now, they really are learners of the digital world. I have a tutor. I've been tutoring a student online from Canada, actually.
Okay, well that's cool.
She's 7-year-old.
Oh, it's
and
like
then
mine.
Her mother found me, and then we've been having Chinese lessons once a week.
Okay.
And she picks up very quickly because she's a very young learner.
Yeah, sure.
And then they also study by themselves through other YouTube videos and other resources online. Okay. So I will give her homework. I'll be like, okay, now we learn fruit. Now go to a local supermarket and find the 10 fruits that we've learned. Okay. And then introduce them in Chinese. So the mother will be filming her with her phone, and then she goes like, 西瓜, 西瓜, like a natural YouTuber.
Oh, that's great.
She did an excellent job.
Really?
Yeah, and then she just walks. The mom will just follow her around with the camera, and then she just teaches how to say the words in Chinese. Okay. By herself, and with the animals as well. And I just see when back then, my generation, our generation.
Sure, ours. Yeah. Well, I don't think my generation is a little bit probably older than yours, but yeah.
But I don't think we're able to do that.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Like a vlog and teaching everybody how to teach Chinese, speak Chinese. But I was just so amazed.
My daughter as well. She. So from this channel I just talked about. Yeah. At the beginning of the channel, the little girls are probably like 5 and 6. And they must be because they're not in school yet, right? Mm-hmm. And so at the beginning, the little girls would be like, what's up, guys? Welcome back to our channel. Before we get started, hit that subscribe button and blah, blah. And they just I can't even say it. And this little girl just crushes it.
She has a little slogan.
She has, and you know what? My daughter's memorized that. So I have a couple of my Eddie's Cantina videos where at the beginning, she's like, what's up, guys? Welcome back to our channel. And then after she's done the slogan, she's like,
now what?
Now what? Yeah, so it's really funny. I might get her to do that for this, just put it at the beginning. Yeah. It's really funny.
Like an intro for the Eddie life.
Yeah, she's funny because she's really like so outgoing. She got this award from elementary school. She comes home with this like glass trophy, and I was looking at it and I'm like, what is that? And she's like, oh, I just got it from school. And I looked at it, and it came with this paper, and I looked at this paper, and I was like, what is that? And it was like for the model student. And I'm thinking to myself, my daughter's like late every day, hates doing her homework. You know, I was like, the model students. And I said, who? I asked my wife and the teacher, and then I'm like, how would my daughter get the model student? And she said, oh, well, the students vote. So all the students get to say, okay, we get to vote for whatever, Aaliyah.
Yeah.
So it's funny because everywhere we go, everybody's like, hey, Aaliyah. And then, you know, so now instead of just being, oh, hey, it's Eddie, it's like, oh, Aaliyah the Baba, oh, Aaliyah the Baba. And then sometimes a lot of the kids don't realize, like, Aaliyah is like half Mexican Canadian and then half Taiwanese. So when I go pick her up, they're just like, huh?
What's this?
Aaliyah 是外国人吗? And I'm like, 没有，她不是外国人. And they're just like, what? They just look at me like, what? What's going on here? You know, so it's pretty funny to see, yeah.
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 But she speaks fluent Mandarin.
She does,
right?
yeah.
She grew up here.
She goes to like just a local elementary school, yeah. So she speaks fluent Mandarin. And the funniest thing was, whenever I take her out, not so much in Tianmu because Tianmu has lots of foreigners, right?
I see, yeah.
But outside Tianmu, you'll see little kids going, oh, Waigoran, right? They'll point at me and say that. I've been getting that for 16 years. I mean, I don't care, right? But my daughter's kind of like, what?
Even when you speak fluent Mandarin.
I still get that, yeah. But, well, like I said, in Tianmu, not so much because international schools are here. But
I see. People expect that.
People are like, no problem. This is like where foreigners live. But if we leave Tianmu, you still get the point. And stuff. Not as much as 10 years ago. Or I've been here for like 16 years.
Yeah, I think here is changing a little bit. I start to see a lot of the kids who either 混血 mixed kids, or they're just foreign children growing up in Taiwan and speak just fluent Mandarin because they go into school with the local Taiwanese kids and they just talk without accents at all, and more and more of that in Taiwan, I think. So I think people's mindset probably will be changing. I think becoming more diverse.
I believe so too. I think we were just chatting earlier. We have like sort of the younger generation.
Yeah.
I think they're definitely, they have a different sort of a mindset. Like sometimes I go for hot pot with my wife and the owner, like we've been going there for probably 5-6 years. And I'll be like, oh, you know, I want in Chinese, I'll tell her, I want garlic, I want this, you know, do you have, you know, white vinegar? And then she'll just look at me and she looks at my wife and she's like, does he like spicy? Does he want this? Does he want that? And I'm like, no, I just told you that I want spicy, I want extra garlic, I want this and this. And she's just like, does he want garlic? Does he want
like
spicy?
A mediator.
Just like completely ignores what I'm saying. Yeah. So it's pretty funny.
That's a lot of the learners that I know in Taiwan, and all my students, they will come to Taiwan to visit me. I'm like, this is your perfect chance, you know, authentic Chinese. Go and order food, and then I will teach him or her how to say it, and then send my student to go complete a task. Yeah. But this is the biggest difficulty that they face because they will say, you know, with very little bit of accent, but perfect grammar. Yeah, sure. And other people will be looking at me like, oh, and then they look at me like, and then they ask the question, 要加糖吗? They will ask. Yeah. And then like now I just like pretend like I didn't hear what they're saying. You have to face him. Or her. She's the person in the conversation, not me. Yeah.
And the fun, sometimes when I'm out with my daughter, I'll speak Chinese to somebody, and then they'll look at my daughter and they'll speak like really broken English to my daughter, and I'm like, oh, she speaks Chinese, and then they're just like, you speak Chinese? And now she's getting smart, so if she doesn't feel like chatting, she's like, no, I don't. And she's like, and I'm like, what are you talking about? Yeah, you do. And
maybe she'll become the next Chinese teacher.
Maybe, yeah. She loves it. Like I said, she's the model student in her school. She loves it. She doesn't like school as much because she's kind of like open and freewheeling. She just wants to do stuff. And then in school, you know, you sit there and you know, you're doing your class or whatever, and she's kind of like, so it's tough, yeah.
Yeah, I wonder what if the teachers have, because you know, with the internet, you know, with the information age, whether it has they have include that into the classroom a little bit more.
I think it's. I have no idea, to be honest, but I would think that there's a lot of new stuff that needs to be included. The education system's a little bit old, everywhere, not just here, but everywhere for sure. Because
I think, like, with my teaching online, I try to get students to make videos. They can choose not to release them onto YouTube. You can just set it private.
Oh, that's
or
right.
in list.
Okay.
But then they have to make a videos either to interview people if they live in Taiwan. Sometimes I'll be like, okay, go find somebody and interview that person asking the question that we learned.
I get that all the time from students.
Yeah, and then they can put it on. But if they don't feel comfortable, they don't have to make it public. And I think that's probably one way that the teachers are trying to incorporate, you know, online learning and YouTube video making into a part of the language classroom.
I think that's good. You know, I actually, especially with the restaurants, I always get it's always high school girls. They all kind of come in, Taiwanese high school girls, and they're just like, we have homework. Can we interview you? I'm like, yeah, sure. Then they're just kind of like, you talk, no, you talk, no, you talk, no, you talk. And I'm like, do you want to do it in English or in Chinese? And they're like,
isn't it English homework?
It's English. It's English homework.
So it has to be English.
So yeah, it has to be English. I'm like, are we doing it in English or Chinese? And they're like, okay, let's do it in Chinese. I'm like, well, what is it for? And they're like, oh, it's our English thing. I'm like, well, we can't do it in Chinese then. And they're just kind of like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
So, and actually, I found that the English is actually fine. The English level is good in Taiwan. I just think everybody's very shy.
I think
不敢讲, oh, 不敢讲,
不敢讲.
Yeah. And that's the biggest thing to hold people, in my opinion, to hold people back from learning a language. Even me, when I came here, I felt the same way until I just like, I don't care. You know, if I screw up, doesn't matter. Yeah.
But you have to make mistakes, and then you learn from your mistakes, right? The students that I've taught, the most outspoken one, and who are not afraid to speak. They're always the one who learns the fastest.
I agree.
Yeah, they always, when they go to Beijing or they come to Taiwan, they try to talk as much as possible to other people to practice.
I think that's good.
It's very important. Like, even when I was learning English, I kind of premeditate what I wanted to say because I also 我也不想说错.
Yeah, of course. Nobody wants to be wrong.
Yeah, because you feel a little bit 不好意思 and embarrassed.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
But then you do have to speak as much as possible. It's like you're learning a tool, right? If you don't use it, it gets rusty. Then you forget how to use it. I
agree. You know, speaking of that, I've been here for 17 years now, and I was raised in English and in Spanish. You know, at home we'd speak Spanish, and I don't use it very much anymore. So obviously I grew up being fluent, and it's still there, but it's kind of locked away. It's pretty rusty. So sometimes when I'm speaking Spanish with friends or customers, it's just flowing and it's coming back and no problem. And then it's just like, bam, I drew like a blank. Like there's just a blank in my sentence. And
do you normally think English or?
Usually English, yeah. So my English, I mean, English for me is easier than Spanish for sure. But I'll just draw a blank, and sometimes I'll just be going so quick, I'll fill in the blank mentally with Chinese, right? And people are just like, what? You know, so it's pretty funny. So
some of my students were learning multiple languages, like Spanish, English, and Chinese. During the Chinese lesson, I'll hear see. I'm like, no, 对. Like, why are you speaking Spanish in your class? They're switching back and forth between three different languages, right?
Yeah, I think it's definitely doable. I think the younger the better, right? When you're young and when you're young, it's really easy to learn stuff, and when you're old, it's not hard. It's not impossible, but it's just you're kind of set. This is my opinion. Obviously, you're kind of set in your ways, and I think when I came here, they told me, "Oh, you speak English and Spanish, you'll be able to learn the third language quick." I think they're right and wrong. I think they're right, whereas my brain can kind of piece together a little bit of French and then Spanish and then English and kind of make the word in Chinese, the sound at least.
Yeah.
But all three of these languages, they don't translate over at all, so they don't really help. Yeah. So it's kind of like it's a way of thinking, but as for actually helping English and Spanish, actually helping Chinese, yeah, it didn't help at all. Yeah. So,
sometimes it can interfere. That's the thing,
sometimes,
right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I have the same thing with English and Chinese. These are the two languages that I speak. And I sometimes, when I'm in the English mode, and then somebody will be like, "How do we say that in Chinese?" I have to think about it.
Yeah, sure.
Then I switch back to, and I'm in a Chinese mode. I can't speak English for some reason. It's really weird.
Yeah, it's weird. It's a weird switchover thing. Whereas like my 7-year-old has been doing that since she was born. So she's just like bang, 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 both languages, and it's a cool skill to have. So, if anybody has any kids out there, you got to try to get them into as many languages as you can, early as possible. And speaking of that, you were mentioning that you actually do tutor kids. I actually didn't know that you tutor kids in Taiwan or overseas.
Online, actually.
Online?
Most of my students are located in North America and Europe. So my viewers, they watch my YouTube videos and then learn about there's a tutorial service they can sign up.
Oh.
They will, go to my web page and then, see what each session is about, what they include. It's a very, very much like an individualized learning.
Like a one-on-one.
One-on-one, yeah.
Okay.
So I will select materials that we use, but there's a one-on-one attention and lots of drills in class and conversation. But with kids, we play a lot of games.
Of course, yeah.
I have to be really creative because they're not here. Through the camera, I have to play guessing game with them, or at the time I have to time it, so it makes it very exciting. And so I invent all this little a game or little rules. Okay, if you win, you get a flower, a petal of the flower, or a snot.
Okay.
And then she takes it very seriously. She's like, I don't want a snot. And
kids are really competitive, so I think that they don't want to lose.
They're very upset.
Yeah.
They're like, I thought you said this. I'm like, okay.
And you're like, what? Yeah, I remember I used to teach elementary and kindergarten here, and whenever you do a game at the end of the class, you're writing, okay, this team, okay, 1 point. Oh, these guys, okay, 1 point.
Yeah.
And they'd be like, no, he cheated. No, they should get a half a point.
Yeah.
And they're like debating, and I'm like, okay, who cares? Half point. I'm like, yeah, no problem. And then the other guy's like, wait, what are you talking about? Half a point? No, just because he said that. And then it's like, okay, you know what? Well, I don't know what to do now.
Actually, I really think
all get 2 points
learning language through games is really the way to go, because I start to do that with my adult students as well. Because I actually have at the moment three younger students.
Okay.
In there, one is 13 and one is 15, and another one is 7. So
Wow.
I'll play games with them.
Okay.
Lots of games, 3-4 games within a 50-minute session.
Okay.
Then I start to do a memory game. Let's say we're learning a vocabulary about utensils: 碗、盘子、杯子、叉子、刀子, right? And I'll design a memory game with my adult students.
Sure.
They're really into it too. And then they're like, the snot. They take it as seriously.
Adults don't want to lose either.
Children.
Yeah? Adults don't want to lose.
And then they see me, I get really excited with the game, and they're like, oh, I'm paying money, but I feel like I'm being tortured because I really push the students to generate as much input as possible.
Okay.
Because we only have 50 minutes, and then I ask a lot of questions, there's a lot of repetition. And sometimes I'll just put them a lot of times I'll put them as how do I say this in Chinese? And surprisingly, when you push them a little bit beyond their level, they can usually achieve that, even do better than what they think they are. Yeah,
I love it. Yeah, it's great.
So you can't make the games or the tasks too easy.
Okay.
Right, but at the same time, you guide them, but give them the autonomy to complete the task by themselves. And they feel really good because, oh wow, I did that. I thought it was hard.
It's like you feel rewarded, right? You feel
exactly
great.
Yeah. And they own that process. And they own those words that they learned.
I also think that that's almost anything in life. It's kind of like if you stay in your comfort zone, it's going to be comfortable, but you don't really take that jump into doing something like like going full time into doing what you're doing now. I mean, you can do part time forever, or you can just go full time. Let's go. So you've been doing it. You did this. You're like the full time. That's amazing. I love that.
The YouTube, yeah.
Like YouTube, right?
Yeah.
Like that's a great thing, you know.
Yeah, it's very, very time consuming. When I explain to people how much time I spend on making the videos, and
of course,
they really can't unless they make videos themselves.
Yeah.
Right, and because from planning a lesson, because I have to like look up corpus, like, oh, am I teaching the most useful expressions, the most commonly used words? I can just imagine a conversation, right? So I have to write the script, and then we film it. I'll film it sometimes by myself, sometimes with people's help. And then the editing takes a long time.
Of course.
Right? Everybody knows that. And then you find the music,
yeah.
you do the subtitle.
Of course,
and then you publish. So when you first publish, those 3 days, the viewership means a lot to you, because that's the immediate reward you get, right? It's like,
sure.
Oh my God, it's 500 views. Oh, it's 1,000 views. And
that's really cool. And you do everything organic, right? It's all organically, right? That's pretty incredible, yeah.
And so doing that, and while teaching online, there's like class preparation. You have to do that.
And they're kind of connected, right? A little bit. They're both teaching. And so you like teaching. Right?
I very much love teaching. I just feel so rewarded too. Like when I teach the students, that they learn from it. I get really excited. And I don't know, like I think my students, they always get a little bit, especially new students, they get a little bit surprised. Like, and how energetic I am.
That's great.
So it's not like jumping up and down in front of the camera, and then 老师你很活泼，你很活泼.
I think it's important to really to do something that you like, and I think that really makes it's rewarding for yourself. Yeah. And it's also kind of like, it's still work, it's still a lot of work, but it's enjoyable, I think, right?
Yeah, and then also all of this hard work is slowly paying off. I'm starting to get more subscribers, viewership, and also patrons on Patreon who are supporting me with my videos, and more students as well. Okay,
great, yeah.
So, and I'm doing what I love. So this is, I have to be very grateful, because I don't, there's a lot of work to do, but then I'm creating the work that's mine. Yeah. Right? So not really building somebody else's company, and then I enjoy it every moment that I do.
Great. I love that. So just on that, you were saying Patreon. So I know what Patreon is, because I've been kind of doing business for a while. I used to try different things like network marketing and stuff, and that was Patreon. People talked about that, so I looked at what it was. So for people that don't know about what Patreon, everybody knows what YouTube is. Like my daughter, who's 7, knows what YouTube is. But what if you could describe what is Patreon?
So Patreon is a platform where creators can get, in a way, like a financial support from their followers. Right. So for me, I create videos, and then I can create different tier system for my followers to join, and each tier, maybe I can decide where maybe $1 a month or $3 a month, right? Different tier. And each tier, as you join, you will unlock different benefits.
Oh, okay. Oh,
yeah,
that's
that,
pretty
for
cool.
example, I created like 5 different tiers, and each of them, you contribute small amount depending on what you choose to join. Okay. And then let's say the tier is a $1 a month, and they can see the behind the scene photo. When I create videos, I will make a brief video to share with, I'm filming at the zoo today, everybody. Okay, very cool. Or this is actually what I look like without makeup. I don't usually look like this. Or I'm editing the video, I look messy. Like these kind of unedited photos or clips that you share with your fans. Okay, behind the scenes. Behind the scenes, or deleted scenes, or some of them could be bloopers. It depends on what you want, what kind of benefits that you want to create to excite your followers, and they can also support you creating your work. Okay, very cool. Yeah, so it's if you guys want the behind the scenes footage, Peggy Teaches Chinese. Go to her Patreon, get on it, support. Okay, we'll put a link in the description afterwards. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So because mine is a Chinese learning brand and platform, so I can't just do the behind the scene. I also do the audio for the lessons. Okay. And study sheet. because people will watch my YouTube videos and learn Chinese, but then there's all this vocabulary that
sure.
appear in the videos. It would be great if there is a already made study sheet. They can just print it out and watch the free videos.
So ideally, they're on your Patreon. They can download like the
old
file,
MP3.
MP3 or whatever, and then follow along.
Yeah.
Oh, that's beautiful. Okay, I like that. Yeah.
So that's one of the benefits that I create for the Patreon.
It's kind of like a VIP, but
like a
next level. You want to do some next level Chinese learning?
Yeah.
Go to Patreon. Okay.
So I'm starting to think like you can change your benefits. Like let's say this benefit doesn't really work. It's not very popular.
Sure. Like it's like any business. Okay.
Yeah. So one tier is like I get to have live conversation with my patron.
Okay.
Right, something like that, or maybe question and answer. So I actually have 2 patrons. I'm waiting to meet them. Through Skype because they supported me in that.
Okay. Beautiful.
Then I can talk about myself a little bit, build like a personal relationship. with them.
Really cool. All right.
Yeah. So I'm still kind of like brainstorming how I can make this membership experience better than it is.
Okay. That's
and it's growing. So
that's great.
I'm happy that I set this up.
I think any kind, like you jumping into this, I think any kind of business is just like trial and error. For me, when I do the restaurant, we make a new menu, we make some new daily specials, and sometimes it's like, wow, this is amazing. And sometimes it's like today I had a message from one of my customers, and they're just like, no more soup. What's going on? They told me they don't sell soup no more. And I said, well, we're throwing away so much soup because no one buys it, And she's like, I love the soup. So I'm thinking, okay, how can I get the soup back on there without having to dump out a bunch of soup,
maybe
at the end
canned
of it?
soup.
Yeah,
maybe people can buy the
maybe. I mean, we actually we do tortillas. We have packaging for the tortillas and stuff.
Yeah.
So we're working on some more stuff like that for sure. It's just, and it's actually, when you do your own business all the time, full time, it's sometimes hard to come up with a new idea. But if you have, I never even thought of some canning soup. Like, I would have never thought of that. And you're just like, oh, just canned soup, So
because you're so engaged in your business every day.
Yeah, you're like,
sometimes
it's like every day you don't even see anything.
Overwhelming.
Yeah, you don't see anything new, and you're just like, this is what you do. But then if you get some outside help, somebody's like, hey, what about this? Sometimes it's going to be probably a little ridiculous, but sometimes people are like, they say something to you, and you're just like, that's great. Let's do that. Yeah. I
know. That's why it makes networking with other creators, other business people, or entrepreneurs very important.
I agree.
I get a lot of ideas from my students. I recently started a new video series called Street Mandarin.
Of course, I'm a fan. Yeah, I've seen it.
And I've kind of always thought, oh, that's a good idea. And then my student, long-time student, he's a businessman himself. He's a director of 3 summer camps in New Jersey. Okay. So he's all these years like, Peggy, you gotta start a series called Street Mandarin, authentic Chinese. People don't want to learn book Chinese. They don't want to learn 你好吗?我很好.
Yes.
And they want to learn how do Chinese people really speak.
Yeah, that's cool.
And then when we have lessons, I will teach him okay, this is the standard way of speaking.
Okay.
And he's like, but what do people really speak in real life?
Yeah, sure.
Right?
Sure,
and I understand because when I learn English, I also want to learn the most authentic English.
Sure. Right? I mean, nobody's like, hello, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you, and you.
Yeah. Like when I taught kindergarten, always the first thing is like, I'm fine, thank you, and you. And that's in the book. You teach that, but then you teach kids more stuff, and it's more fun to learn different things. And I remember one kid didn't really speak much English, and I think they fell down, they hurt their leg, and they're just on the ground crying. And I'm like, are you okay? And they're just like, I'm fine, thank you, and you? And I'm just like, I'm just like, well.
Well, I'm fine, thank you, that's enough.
Yeah, I'm just like, I'm just like, It was funny. It was funny, though, for sure.
Yeah, so with the Street Mandarin, I actually interview people. Okay. Like yesterday, we actually filmed in Shiling Night Market.
Oh, nice.
So
okay, I love Shiling. I love going.
So I'll go and
so
approach.
Close to me. Yeah,
approach strangers and we're making. I first have to explain to them. We're making Chinese learning videos on YouTube. Can I ask you a couple of questions? And most people, I get turned away a lot.
Do you really?
I do, yeah.
Oh,
people
man.
don't feel comfortable, and I'm fine. Like
they don't feel comfortable on camera. Okay.
Yeah, I respect that.
Okay.
But a lot of people are like, oh, sure.
It's like, shh.
Yeah, they're like, 好啊,好啊,你要问我什么问题? And then I'm like, that's where our camera is, and I ask them, and then I can generate actually materials from their input, from their authentic input, how they say in real life. And a lot of them actually, interestingly, will give repetitive answers if you ask the right question.
Oh, really? Okay.
Like the first Street Mandarin, first episode in Street Mandarin is called 过年, Chinese New Year.
Okay, sure, yeah.
So I asked, 请问你过年有什么计划? What do you plan to do Chinese New Year? And then I knew everybody was, 回家过年, 返乡过年, 回老家过年.
Yeah.
So when I cut their answers together, they repeatedly say similar answers.
Yeah.
And that's perfect for language learners because they hear different accents.
Okay.
From different native speakers. I was able to interview Taiwanese people. Majority of the interviewees are Taiwanese.
Sure.
Because
we're in Taiwan, in Taipei.
Yeah, and then Cantonese.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, from Hong Kong.
Well, Shilin Night Market always has, right? A good mix, yeah.
Exactly, and mainland Chinese. And so I put them together, and I was just so happy with the success, how successful the first episode is, because that's exactly the result that I want.
Beautiful.
I want students to be able to hear Mandarin. They generate it organically.
Okay.
They say the similar thing, similar answer organically,
yeah,
but different accent.
Okay.
And that's authentic Mandarin.
That's cool. That's really cool.
Yeah, and at the end of the video, I analyze what they say, and they can download study sheets and then study along.
So do all the series are all on your one channel, on the channel, or do you have like 100 channels with like different series, all on one channel?
Yeah, one channel, just Peggy Teaches Chinese. But I create different video series that has different playlists on YouTube.
Okay.
So this is Street Mandarin series, and another one is, it's been around for a while, it's called Traveling Taiwan, where I go to a tourist site and I would introduce the plays and in Chinese and English. But then I realized people like the street interviews so much, and then now I started to incorporate a little bit of the interviews as well in the Traveling Taiwan series.
People like the sort of authentic, like unpolished stuff. I think, exactly. I agree, yeah.
Which is like live.
Which is like live, yeah.
I need to go live.
Yeah, so to be honest, live. That Peg was saying that this is one of, if not the first time she's live. Yeah, we're live right now. So this is
awesome. Actually, it's fun.
It's fun, right?
I feel like I'm actually talking to real audience.
That's exactly
somebody
it.
Somebody out there is watching.
I hope somebody's watching, right? Yeah.
Yeah, because I've been like, people are saying you should go live more often, and then I never really. I'm a YouTuber for a long time. Yeah. And I've always wondered how it works.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is
it's super easy, and I mean, for me. The benefit of going live is, like, as soon as you hit stop, it's up. Like, it's live right now.
So it'll be on YouTube automatically.
Yes, it's if you go to the YouTube channel right now, it's on now, and it'll have a little red thing that says live. So so people can watch and comment right now, and then you can just when it's done, YouTube will just kind of upload it by itself. Yeah, that's why.
What have I been missing?
It's because for me. Like, I coach soccer. I have my daughter. I have 2 restaurants. I try to go to the gym in the morning.
Yeah.
I do all the marketing for my business, and I'm always diving into new sort of marketing strategies, and I'm starting to do marketing for other businesses as well. Yeah. So I'm super busy all the time.
Yeah.
And for me, this is fun. I've always wanted to do something like this. This is
really cool.
I've always thought that with what I'm doing with the restaurant, I meet so many cool people, and like you. I mean, how cool is that? When I had a customer come in, when you won the 3,000 NT voucher for my restaurant, I came in, and one of my customers, Dusty, he comes in, and he's just like, "Dude, you totally rigged it," and I was like, "What are you talking about, man?" Because I'm just like, "What?"
Your friend?
One of my friends. He's like, "You totally rigged it." I'm like, rigged what? And he's just like, "Oh, you're the prize," and I'm like, "What?" I was like,
you do it live, no?
Of course. Yeah, but I mean, I was just kind of like I had just come out of the kitchen. I was like covered. I was soaked. I was just like,
Yeah.
and he comes in and I'm like, what are you talking about? I rigged what? And he's just like, oh, you rigged Peggy Lee. He's like, of course she wins. She's a celebrity. And I'm like, and I'm thinking, Peggy? I'm like, I guess, yeah. I'm like, yeah, I guess she's my friend. I'm like, yeah, I didn't think he didn't know that you were my friend. He just said you rigged it so a celebrity would win.
I should have a few people contacting me.
Yeah?
And then they say they saw the picture of me winning the prize. Yeah, the coupon. And,
really?
And then dining at Eddy's Cantina.
Okay,
and
that's
they're like,
cool.
Peggy, you live in Tianmu, and...
That's cool,
Yeah.
right? So it's any kind of publicity is always good, right?
I know,
So
yeah.
people ask me, they're like, oh, like, so this guy was like, oh, you know, she's a celebrity. And he's a good friend of mine. And I was just like, yeah, I guess she's a celebrity. I'm like, no, I didn't rig it at all. It's just, I never even thought of rigging it, you know? I was like,
when
okay,
I saw the
well.
prize, I immediately entered my email.
Sure, of course,
2, 3 of
yeah.
my email, and I'm hoping I will win, and then I won. Woo.
It's funny because when I hit it, you know, we have this list of people that enter the contest, and then I do the random thing, and I don't obviously I don't show the list online because
yeah,
you know,
privacy,
privacy, right? So
yeah.
I look at it, and then I'm like, and I'm like, oh man, and I'm like, oh, this is Peggy. I'm like, oh hey.
Yeah.
The first thing I thought was like, wow, okay, it's funny and it's cool, and it's cool when you know who won, but it's also cool you get somebody new in and they come in and they're kind of like,
the
is
list
this
is
real?
now getting longer.
Yeah, it's longer, but they're like, is this real? I'm like, yeah, it's real. So it's real, right? It's not some scam, you know, where I'm trying to steal people's emails or something. It's like, yeah, come check it out. So Peggy won.
Sign
Peggy
up.
won. Yeah, sign up. I'll leave a link for that. Yeah.
And I also get the coupon too, right?
Coupons, yeah, sure, yeah.
Yeah, for the 40% off.
Yeah, so what we do is we get coupons. So basically, you get to enter the draw and you get to enter our VIP program. And our VIP program is sort of a series of coupons, and that kind of get you in. And the first coupon is a big coupon, which gets you in the door to come and try. We don't really make money on the first coupon, to be honest.
Yeah.
But what that is to get people in to come and try the place, you know, try it out.
Yeah.
You know, we're pretty confident that you're going to like the food, you're going to like the place.
I miss the fish tacos.
Hey, well, speaking of that, yeah, I had that for lunch today. But so the last time you came, you were like a keto sort of a thing, right?
Yeah.
How is that? I mean, how's that?
It's going very well. Yeah? I'm doing it very strictly. So that's why I don't eat out anymore, because I can't really control what's in the food.
Yeah, sure.
But if I go to Eddy, I have to ask for the lettuce tacos, right? So that would do, right? And or that chicken last time was awesome.
The chicken? Yeah, sure,
it was great.
Thank you. Yeah, anytime.
And so I've been doing keto. I've been doing low carb for a while.
Low carb,
I think maybe a keto diet for only 2 months.
Okay. Is it? Can you feel a difference? Like, because apparently, I've wanted to do keto for a long time, but I just don't, because I just chicken out all the time. I chicken out. I'm like, but I like my corn tortillas. And so, can you feel? Apparently, when your body switches over from carbs to like ketones as fuel, it's supposed to be amazing. Like
I feel very high awareness.
Okay.
I'm very awake and lots of energy, consistent energy throughout the day. The only side effects, I can't eat the xiaochi that I love in Taiwan.
Yeah, sure, of course.
I didn't really suffer. I didn't really suffer too much from like the headaches that they say you will have.
Okay, the keto flu.
Yeah, a little bit, but not. It doesn't really bother me. It just it's hard because I grew up and I feel nostalgic towards the xiaochi that I grew up eating.
Of course, yeah.
But the reward of the keto diet is too great, because it's almost like you're buying extra time.
Okay.
Right?
Okay,
like in the past, you can probably work for 6 to 8 hours. Then you're like, no more. But with a keto, you can do 10 hours.
You can do 10. All right. Oh.
You can do 10
I never
hours.
even thought about that. Yeah. So all my staff were going keto starting this week. Yeah.
So we now cook at home a lot and watch other YouTubers. They invent all this.
Sure, you got to be creative when you when you're missing all the carbs and all that.
Yeah,
right?
recipe to all this recipe to help you with the keto diet, because I have a big sweet tooth. I can't go without chocolate.
What about? I remember somebody talking about like bread, keto breads and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Is that a thing? Yeah.
I tried it. It was good. If you really crave bread, but then I made it and we made it. It was It was good. We're good for the keto bread for now.
Okay.
But now we're making like the fat bomb, you know, with the chocolate and coconut. Very tasty.
I love chocolate and coconut.
There's the sugar alcohol, the sugar substitute that you can use to create the taste of sweetness.
Oh wow! I didn't even know that. Yeah.
And so you have to order. You can order those things online, and I've been following these recipe, and it's working pretty well. Yeah.
Okay.
And without the sweet, it's not very sustainable because
of course
not. Like I really want some ice cream. Yeah, what if there is keto ice cream?
Yeah. Hey, you know what? There must be. Yeah.
Really tasty.
Yeah. Okay. Wow.
So I'm hoping, like, as I go farther with the diets, I hope I can create my own recipe too that I can make Chinese food.
Yeah, you know what, that would actually
Chinese
be something
keto
huge.
Food.
Yeah, because I think food channels are always popular.
That's true.
People keep saying you gotta do food. Yeah. I'm like, I do that all day, every day. Should I? So I might. Actually, speaking of that, one new sort of series that we're gonna do with this is. Do you watch have you ever seen the channel Hot Ones? There's a channel called Hot Ones, and it's kind of like there's one guy's interviewing another guy, usually a super famous person, and they have they do wings, hot wings, and they start from like mild all the way to like super ridiculously spicy. Hot, and they just talk, and a lot of the people that get really, like Gordon Ramsay was on there, and Gary Vee, and like it's pretty cool. So I had a couple of people say, you know what, you should do that instead. And I've always been thinking about doing that.
Like a competition thing?
Yeah, so it's just kind of like, let's say we're doing this, and I'm asking you about Peggy Teaches Chinese, but we've got all these wings. And you're like, you eat like a super hot one, and you're just like, oh my God. And I'm still asking you questions.
Not about like super hot stinky tofu, right?
Yeah, there you go.
Do that. I'll break keto for that.
There you go. Okay.
Yeah.
So like, I'm gonna try that. I'm gonna switch it up a little bit from what the original guys do. They do just the interview person and then one person.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking I'll do the interview, but I'll probably bring 2 people in, so we can keep like a really cool flow with 3 people going, and I'll probably do that one at the restaurant so that the food actually tastes good instead of just having a bucket of, like in the studio. Like we'll have it at the restaurant, and yeah, we're probably gonna start that one. Maybe next week. I have a couple people that want to try. A couple people that want to try. And we've got food all the time. And we've got hot sauce all the time. And I've actually got some hot sauces coming in from a couple different hot sauce people that make them locally as well. So
yeah. Do you sell your own hot sauce?
We actually have our own, but I'm still working on how to bottle them because a lot of our sauces and salsas are well, the salsas especially are super fresh. So the salsa in like if you take home like our habanero salsa in maybe 3 days, it's bad. So the hot sauce, so the salsa's tough. The hot sauce, because of the vinegar and stuff, it's okay. So we're working. I have some really cool ideas on that I will definitely be revealing soon. So yeah.
So there will be like a bottle of hot sauce.
There will be.
Kansu, like
a
for variety of products.
Yeah, for sure. Like for me, the food is not the problem. It's just how to preserve it. Like how do I can a soup? I'm like, I don't know how to can a soup.
And
I know how to make a bunch of soups.
Taste, right?
Yeah, like I don't want to have all these cans of soup in the market. Someone buys it and like, oh my God, that's crap. And then they see, that restaurant, I had their canned soup. It's crap. I'm never going there. So it's like,
Yeah. Yeah, I know that, like some restaurants, when I was in the States, I noticed they would sell like jam, or there's homemade recipe, homemade like maybe salad dressing.
Yeah, something like that. We definitely do that. Yeah.
Or T-shirts, and they even sell just a book of recipe.
We actually, I'm thinking about doing some stuff like that as well. Yeah, for sure.
So I think that would be an interesting avenue to explore.
So like things like this. This is good because I've thought of these like 10 years ago, and I just completely forgot. And they're on the list, and sometimes the list gets so long it's buried. I'm like, oh yeah, I was gonna do that. But that's it. If someone else is looking at your business from the outside, it's definitely a good thing for sure.
Yeah, I think when you're running your own business, we all have blind spots, right? So it's important to talk to other people, and for me, I talk to my students, get feedback from them. And just the other day, I had a new student, and he bought one lesson, and he wanted to try out an online one-on-one lesson with me.
Yeah.
And so, from the teacher's point of view, I'm just thinking, okay, he's got 50 minutes. I don't want to waste his time. I want to get him to practice as much as possible. So we're doing the self-introduction, and then asking a lot of questions, and then just right off the bat, let's into the lesson. Let's
go.
But then I wrote to him an email. He said really liked the lesson I spoke, because I taught mainly Chinese only. Only if the students can understand what I'm saying, then I'll speak a little bit of English.
Yeah, that's the way to do it.
But it doesn't really matter what level they're in. I try to speak just Chinese as much as possible.
That's the way.
So I wrote to him, and I wanted to know immediately the feedback from him.
Yeah.
Like, what do you think about the first lesson? You know, I'm welcome to suggestions. And he just said it would be great if you could, at the beginning of the lesson, to kind of like fill me in, because he has no idea my teaching style.
Okay,
one-on-one.
sure, okay.
So if I can tune in, like let him know the kind of teaching style, like, oh, I'm going to ask you a lot of questions. Sometimes I'm going to ask you to translate right away.
Okay.
And I'm going to expect you to repeat the sentence that we just said.
Okay.
He said it will be really helpful.
Okay.
Because otherwise they'd be like, oh, what do you want me to do? Do you want me to ask the question, or you want me to repeat the question, right? And then I thought, oh yeah, I never thought about that. Right, because I'm just like, I don't want to waste time. I want to just practice as much as possible. But then he's right. I have to establish a mutual understanding with him by warning him there will be a lot of drills. I'm going to ask you to translate, a lot of interactions. It will be a little bit intense. And then they know what to expect from me.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think like you will get your feedback from your customers.
Sure, for sure. Yeah,
other
definitely.
Entrepreneurs, other business,
definitely,
restaurants owner.
For sure. Like we do get a lot of feedback. That's why things like social media are really good, because you can directly connect with people.
Yeah.
Sometimes a double-edged sword. Sometimes you get like a 1-star review by somebody who's like, oh, I hate this guy or whatever, and you're like, what?
Yeah, I get that too. There's always somebody like pressing thumbs down on my video, and then I really tried.
Sometimes I want to be like, what do you do, man? That's so good. What do you do?
Because you spend
nobody knows.
You spend hundreds
so
of hours.
Shut up,
Hundreds of hours, of course, and to put together a video, and then somebody goes like thumb down. It breaks your heart.
Of course,
right?
Yeah, of course.
Like, what did I do wrong? And then you start to watch I start to watch the video to find what's going on.
Yeah, no, it's just there's always gonna be haters that just they're just not gonna like it. Some people are just not happy to see other people do well, I think.
I think so, yeah. I've come to come to terms with it, not to take it very lightly, because maybe the person is having a hard time.
For sure. I mean, I've got some really bad. I agree. Like, it's the same with me. Like, we work hard to make the recipes, and we make sure all the ingredients are fresh. We make sure everything is as good as it possibly can be with the lack of ingredients to make Mexican food in Taiwan. Mm-hmm. And we still, a lot of people are happy, but sometimes people are like, oh yeah, I don't like this, I don't like that. And I remember this one lady in Mexico, in Guadalajara. They do these sandwiches called tortas, and they do this torta ahogada, which is like a sandwich that is like, it's basically called like a drowning sandwich, a sandwich that's drowning in sauce. It's like a red tomatoey hot sauce. And
sounds good.
It's really good. It's really good. It's not keto friendly though. I'm sorry about that. But so basically we have I was able to not get the exact bread, but something similar. I said, okay, you know what? I'm going to put this on the lunch menu. We're going to try that. Mm-hmm. And I said, okay, cool. So this one lady comes in with her family, and they come, they were coming for a bit. Dad gets nachos, daughter gets enchiladas, somebody else gets fish tacos, and the mom's like, oh, I'm going to try this new, this torta ahogada, And so, we do the food, and I'm excited because this is a new thing, and I'm like, all right. And I got like my sauce, and I'm just like, yes. And I'm like, and I've had a few people like it, and then so this lady's like calls the staff over, and she's like, I want to talk to the chef. Mm-hmm. And I can't remember if she said chef or owner or whatever. So I come out, I'm like, hi, how's everything? She's like, well, the enchiladas are good, and the nachos are good, and this is good, but this sandwich, this is not Mexican food. And I'm just like, oh, well, actually, my family comes from Guadalajara, where this is one of the most famous street foods in Guadalajara, and there's different areas in Mexico. So, but this is a very popular one, kind of all over Mexico. And she's like, yeah, no, it's not Mexican food. And I said, well,
what do you say to that? You're like,
you're like, what? And I'm like, okay, well, actually, the only thing that I've tweaked is usually the red sauce on top. It's really spicy, but you know, we put a little bit mild and almost no spice just to make it kind of same thing, but not so spicy.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, this is not Mexican food. And I'm like, okay. I'm like, okay, how about I just take it off the bill then? No problem, right? And she's like, I lived in San Diego for 3 months. I know what Mexican food is. Mm-hmm. And I was like, San Diego? I'm like, okay. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take it off the bill.
Other customers might like it, right?
Sure, yeah. A lot of people liked it. You know, but I was like, okay, I'll take it off the bill and let's just end this conversation because it's not a good one, you know? I was like, what are you talking about? Yeah. It's pretty fun.
When you meet like customers like that, like, what do you do with it? Because
it's not an easy thing, you know. You're just kind of like, okay, you know, sorry about that. This is how we do it. If you don't like it, we'll just take it off the bill, you know. No problem. We'll just, you know. And then you go into the back and you're like, But you can't do that in front of the customers, right? Yeah, of course, yeah.
It's always good, like, you know, it would be great if people can just give more constructive feedback, right?
Sure, yeah.
Or maybe a little bit more spicy will be, you know.
Sure.
And
we could actually put spice, no problem. For sure, yeah. But she's like, no. Not Mexican. I know Mexican. Lived in San Diego. 3 months. This is not it.
Maybe she had a hard day.
Yeah, it's probably it. It's probably it. Sometimes you get people that are just, you know, they're just not so happy. So, yeah. They want to come into the place and they're going to have a crappy experience no matter what. Yeah.
But overall, like the restaurant, like the service is very good, and then they're all very attentive and
we try to. I mean,
very fast.
We try to be good.
Food's always hot. And
we try to make sure it's you know as good as we can. I mean, the problem was we make everything, so like we're making the tortillas and we're making everything. So, you know, sometimes it's a little slow, but you know, sometimes I think it's better than just having like microwave. Like there's a lot of restaurants where you go and there's coffee shops where you go and you're like, hey, I'm gonna get a lasagna or something, and
you can taste that's like, straight from the microwave.
It's like, whoa, okay, awesome, yeah, for sure.
So like with my diets now, I just don't eat out anymore.
Well, that's back to the keto thing. That's a tough one.
Unless I come and have some. Do you consider having the lettuce?
Yeah, we totally can. Yeah, we can totally for you anytime, no problem. Yeah, we can try it.
Yeah, like I think some customers probably don't know that they can replace the tortilla.
They definitely don't know. Yeah,
so it can be a little line there. Like
we were doing the menu, so we could do that for sure.
Oh really? Okay, that'd be great.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So now I want to ask you one thing about obviously your channel. It's 10 years. Congratulations, obviously, on 10 years. That's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
What about the next 10 years? What do you think? What are your plans for that? The next 10 years.
10 years.
Yeah.
I really, this has been my dream. I really want to be able to eventually package each lesson series with the individualized package with the videos.
Oh, I like that.
You know, audio and study sheets, right, all together. And if I can develop a little bit more, like to make the materials even more complete for each series. I say Travel in Taiwan series is the downloadable package.
I love that.
Street Mandarin downloadable package. And I have other series on HSK Intermediate Chinese series. That one is slowly being built because there are 6 levels with this Chinese proficiency test.
Okay.
I start with the intermediate Chinese. I still need to go back to the beginner.
Okay.
And the more like an advanced level of Chinese and gradually build them all up. And I want to be able to, so once I finish, it's going to take a little while because now I'm working to create all of this by myself with the help from friends and family.
Sure.
But eventually they will become a complete product. Then I'll have my own materials.
That's really cool.
As I get more students, I really want to have my own like a virtual classroom, like an online academy, where I no longer need to use Skype. I can just have this online platform. The teachers and the student can just come in, have lessons with the teacher, either with me. Hopefully, I'll be able to hire other teachers by expanding, a little bit.
Sure. Okay.
And use the materials that we have. right? So it's the concept. There are many companies that are already doing this business model already, of course. And so that's the goal, that kind of like the goal that I want to move towards too, as I create more videos.
Okay.
And
that's great. I never even thought about that.
yeah,
That's really cool.
You know, getting more patrons and supporters, and be able to package this all together. Yeah.
Now my brain is thinking. I'm like, okay, I'll give you that. That's really cool. I like that idea. Yeah. Very cool. Okay.
Because I just it would just be nice, like this platform. If I own this platform, I can upload all the online materials.
Sure.
Even record the lessons that we're having, one-on-one lessons that I'm having with a student, and a student can watch these lessons afterwards.
Yeah, you could do that. You could definitely do like a screen recording, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a screen recording, and after be like boom.
With the student and the teacher both online with the materials.
That's definitely you could do that quick. Yeah.
Because sometimes I will teach, and you know, I think as a good teacher, you have a lesson plan, but then you improvise a lot.
Of course,
you're like,
sure.
Oh yeah, that's great. Like you get inspired.
Yeah.
Sometimes by students, or you just all of a sudden have that idea, and then the lesson went so well.
Yeah.
Like you just kind of wish that was recorded.
That was recorded. How can I duplicate, replicate that?
I would write it down. Oh yeah, that game, the activity that I just came up was awesome. Like students loved it, and it just came up on the spot. It would be good if those lessons were recorded, but you can't do that with Skype, and it's understandable. Yeah.
Right? Sure. But there's a few out there. I know there's a few out there that you can definitely do that with for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that would be great, actually. Yeah.
And those are actually just existing lessons, and that one can also use. Either other students can watch the lessons, and the teachers can watch the lessons, and then have a little bit of analysis, like where can be improved.
Yeah, I think you could do that with like webinars and stuff, right? Something like that, yeah.
So I want to be able to do that.
Webinars and stuff, yeah.
Have a little, virtual classroom, my own online academy.
Beautiful, I like that.
Another thing I'm interested in doing is, this is an idea my students gave me as well. Because my students, I have lessons with them. They saw my videos, and they all eventually come to Taiwan. And when they come to Taiwan, I'll take them out to dinner and show them around a little bit.
Of course, yeah.
So
you're getting the VIP service. Wow.
Yeah, I'm like,
nice.
Because I want to see them. Like, you just meet this person like once a week for years, and then they travel all the way to Taiwan just to come to see their teacher, and of course to see the country.
Sure.
And so my student who owns the camp, summer camp in America, he's like, Peggy, those traveling Taiwan videos you're doing, they're great. You should have your own immersion camp. Language immersion camp, where people just sign up. Let's say you get 10 students, they come, and then you teach them Chinese, you speak only Chinese with them, and they're all my students, or maybe just people who are interested in the camp. They come for a week or 2 weeks, and then you show them around. Okay, today 今天我们要去猫空 and then 我们今天要去台北101，然后要去爬山。
You can have like a camera guy behind doing it. That'd be great.
Yeah,
totally.
Maybe that could be recorded, but then they get to spend time with me, and I show them around, and then it's a immersion camp.
That would be amazing. Yeah.
And then I can hire other Chinese teachers. Yeah. And if we have more
that's a great. And you said he has camps in the U.S.
He owns actually 3 camps in New Jersey. Those are summer camp.
Let's go. Right? That's it. Yeah.
So he gives me a lot of ideas, because he actually gets paid to go to other places and teach them how to run camps.
Oh, okay.
And then when I have lessons with him, he's paying me to be his Chinese teacher.
Yeah, that's really cool.
And then he would just give me some advice, like, you should totally do this.
That's
Street
cool.
Mandarin. You should totally
I think that's great.
Have your own immersion camp.
I think it's great, yeah. And I think that Taiwanese people, being here, they want to go and they want to do like a winter camp or summer camp in Canada or the U.S. But also, I think that because Chinese is so popular now, I think that the reverse would make sense too. People from there would want to come here.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure. Yeah,
there are camps like that, but they are still more language oriented. They have to be in the classroom.
Well, there's always going to be stuff like that, but they're. How can I say?
I want to integrate more like traveling.
Like do fun stuff. Yeah.
Lessons and traveling, and take them around, because I'm already doing that with my own students who come to see me in Taiwan.
Nice. Okay.
But if I can actually have a system, like organize a system where
that's going to be Patreon next level, guys. So if you guys are interested right now, just hit her up on Patreon. And she's
Peggy Teaches Chinese.
Yeah, she's gonna do that. She'll do that.
That's my goal.
But I mean, if somebody's like, hey, boom, I'm going to be there in 2 weeks, and I'm going to pay you this. Can you make it happen? Probably. Right? So
I mean, like, I can start small, maybe just 4 or 5 students.
Of course, yeah.
Then, yeah, we'll see. I'm excited about the next 10 years with Peggy Teaches Chinese. Beautiful. And
the first 10 year was awesome. I can't wait. I'm actually going to go back today, and I'm going to go and see like the first videos and stuff.
Oh God,
but that's so cool. That's really cool. Not many people have a channel.
My English was not good. I was just like thinking. I didn't even think about what I was gonna say.
But you know what's good about that is a lot of people are gonna be, when they come and they want to learn Chinese,他们也不敢讲 because they don't, because they're like, oh, my Chinese is not good, I can't speak. But you can be like, look at this video.
你看我以前
Look at me from before. I couldn't, but I'm just gotta go for it. So
yeah.
So you got it. I think it's valuable for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Looking back,
really cool.
it's been really a long way, and lots. I really want to thank my supporters and patrons and my students for believing in Peggy Teaches Chinese, and they really encourage me and inspire me to continue to build this.
Beautiful.
So, great 10 years, and I'm hoping the next 10 years will be better ones.
And we're looking forward to some live videos as well from,
from
Peggy. I mean, we did live today. Peggy was amazing, right?
But like live, I'll be by myself, and then people will be, they will check in online, and then how do they interact with me? Like how?
Well, so basically, if you go directly from YouTube. So I'm using a software that I can show you that's called Restream, and Restream. The reason I started using it is because it's easier, and I'm not very good at this. And with Restream, if you pay like $20 a month or $10, something like that, you can actually stream live to YouTube and Facebook simultaneously. I'm not doing that yet, but I will, and that's why I thought, okay, I should probably learn the software. But if you just go YouTube live, you'll have like your comments on the side there. So you can just be like, bam. And I think you could be able to do it with this too. I'm just not that tech savvy yet. Yeah. But no, usually you'll be able to have it there, and you'll have all the comments on the side, and somebody
then you
can
can interact.
Then you can be like, hey,
their questions. I see.
It's the same. Facebook Live, you can do that as well. Like if you go live on Facebook, you can be like, hey, and someone will be like asking you questions and stuff. So you can totally respond. So it's really cool with technology. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of.
See, I'm still learning as a YouTuber, even though I've been doing it for so long. I still haven't gone live.
I actually found I follow this guy on YouTube. It's funny because he's a Taiwanese guy, and a lot of my setup here is just from watching his videos, and he speaks English.
Yeah.
And but it's funny because he speaks English with a really Taiwanese accent, and I'm like, what if this guy's Taiwanese? And like I look at the house, and I look when he's outside on the streets, and I'm like, oh, this guy's totally Taiwanese. And he just introduced this new software that's similar to the one I'm using. It's not as polished, but you can actually go YouTube and Facebook Live for free, simultaneously, which is cool. I just didn't want to test it right now because I should test it when I'm by myself. Yeah. So
that's the power of the internet.
Yeah, for sure.
We learn a lot from one another. Yeah.
YouTube channels. Whenever I'm trying to figure something out, I'll just be like, type whatever it is, YouTube tutorial, and it's just like, bam, somebody knows how to do it. Somebody knows how. Yeah. So that's the good thing about YouTube. Yeah. But that's awesome. So anything else you want to say to the people before we cut off here?
Check out my YouTube channel, Peggy Teaches Chinese, for free Chinese learning videos, and you can support me on Patreon, where you can also download extra study materials of the videos. And if you're interested in one-on-one lessons, go to my website. It's peggyteacheschinese.com.
Perfect. So check out the website, check out the YouTube, subscribe to the videos. Thank you guys so much. We'll put some links of Peggy's info at the bottom. And thank you guys so much. And much love. We'll see you guys next time.
Thank you for having me.
Bye. 再见. All right. There we go.